Good morning everyone, this is the Volvo XC40 2024 with the new battery, the new motors, and today I'm going to do a range test on the highway. I have tested the previous versions already twice, once in not amazing conditions, rain and not too warm, I think it was in March, and one was in the summer. I put the data of those two drives in here. But this car, like I said, new motor, should have less consumption and a bigger battery, so it will be very exciting. And then if I have time afterwards, I will do a little charging test. And I'm excited about this. This is the twin motor, so power, that's awesome. And I had a bit of fun. The car was parked and was cold, and the battery says it's a cold battery, less range and less power. And so I thought I should warm it up a bit. It was at 100%, and then I floored it. And every time I floored it to 100 kilometers an hour and then slowed it down back to 50, it lost 1% state of charge. I mean, it has 300 kilowatt power, so of course, that's a lot of power. But that was funny, and I did it, I don't know, 8 times, and I was then at 92%. I had the heat on, seat heat and everything as well. But still, it's awesome. And yes, charging up to 100%, it tells me another 20 minutes, and then we go. I'm on my way. I'm driving 131 on the speedometer, and this is 129 but GPS speed, but a lot of times it jumps to 132. That's why I'm driving like this. Yeah, and the self-steering doesn't feel my touch so well. Why are you not focusing? You are, eh? I have the heat at 22 degrees. Where are we? Come on. Blowing at 2. I had 320 kilometers of range when I started. Now 290. What do? I steer, I touch. Come on. I'm already at 90%. I started at 98. The charging from 97 to 98 took 15 minutes. And the time when it finished got more and more, and so I thought, nah, not gonna do that. It's gonna stand here for 30 minutes for 2%. Consumption is 341, but the first 10 kilometers are uphill. You know the drill. Let's go on then. I'm at 73%, so I used 25% of the battery, and I drove 77 kilometers. That would mean a full range of 308 kilometers. Consumption is 284, average speed 128. That's the stuff. I haven't changed any of the settings. I can drive really well. It's busy, but no trucks, and I can drive the 131, 132 really well. I'm at 48%, used 50% of the battery, and I drove 142 kilometers. That would mean 284 kilometers of full range, so it went down a lot. But I noticed I did a different range test with my ID.7 yesterday, and I noticed that on the way to my turnaround point on the other highway, it's downhill. On the way back, it's uphill. But I didn't drive back the whole way because I changed highway here. Yeah, we're gonna talk about the beeping here if we're touching the steering wheel, self-driving in a second. Consumption is 285. Where? Average speed still 128, that's awesome. I have still not changed anything. It's 7 degrees out there with 22 degrees on the on the heat here. I'm very comfortable. This car of course has a heat pump, and of course just my car doesn't have it, and it has 20-inch all-season tires on. I don't know if all-season tires have less consumption than winter tires. I have no idea, but it's 20-inch, not 19-inch wheels. Come on, stop beeping. Yeah, it's annoying. It really needs a movement, not just a touch. So we'll drive on and we'll put in Google Maps the charger soon, and so I can get back to the charger with 10% or so. I just turned around at 100 kilometers of range. I have 70 kilometers to go back to the charger. Google Maps tells me I arrive with 13%. I put my heat down to 21 degrees and even fan 1 because the sun is warming me up so nicely. Driving data, my consumption went up a bit. It should go down on the way back now because I think it's a bit less consumption on the way back. Yes, other than that, all fine. Still a bit wet on the road. I don't know when it rained, I guess this morning, and I didn't notice. So let's talk about the 2024 version of this car. When it comes to interior, like I said, and infotainment system, I haven't seen anything drastically new. I have seen that now there is YouTube in here. That's new. I didn't know that this exists. Driving on the highway long distance trip is still nice. This car is comfortable. The suspension is a tiny bit jumpy, but it's very comfortable still. It's fine. Adaptive cruise control works very well. It does it like it always did. Even though there's a very long distance to the next car and you have selected a very low distance as when you want to drive, it still slows you down. So it does that very comfortably. The power is amazing, but I'm not using it right now at this test. I love that there's Android Automotive in here. It works very well. Talk about this in a second. The heating system is okay. It's not amazing. The same with the screen is just a bit small, and so to get to something when it's a bit bumpy can be a problem, but still fine. I like that I can have the map of my navigation in here or my trip data, but other than that there's nothing here, and as always I feel like it's a bit of a waste of space. It's a big screen here as a cockpit in front of me, but there's not a lot of information that I can see. I like that the range, I don't know if in the last the car I drove, the range was already displayed. I know that in the beginning there was no range display, just state of charge. That is here now, but only in 10 kilometer steps, and then when you're under 100 it's in 5 kilometer steps. Noise level in here is okay. It's not amazing. So I notice when I listen to a podcast, they have to turn it up a bit, and I have to speak a bit louder right now as well, but it's not bad. Not bad at all. And self-driving. Yeah, self-driving overall, it's okay. It's not the best, it's not amazing. What I don't like is that it doesn't notice me that I'm here. If I'm just holding the steering wheel, I have to steer against, and that's pretty heavy. So just a tiny steer against doesn't recognize me. It has to be a bit stronger. It's nice that you can turn on and off self-steering with a button on the steering wheel. Adjustment is nice. I arrived with 12%, 240.3 kilometers driven, 284 watt-hours per kilometer was my average consumption, and 127 kilometers per hour was my average speed. This video was supported by Maingau Autostrom. With Maingau you can charge at over 500,000 charging stalls all over Europe for a fair price. And if you're interested in more details, check the link in the description below. When I started, it went to 208 kilowatt right away, 500 amps, but now it was under 180, now it's at 185. The real kilometers I have driven was 244, and when I say I drove from 98 to 12%, that means 287 kilometers of range in these conditions. It's nice and warm and sunny. It's, I think, 8 degrees right now. I had the heat on 21 degrees, so the heat and a heat pump, but it was mostly a bit wet. Still at 165 kilowatt at 26% for when before we had 150 kilowatt on this battery, so this is amazing. So I'm going to charge a bit more and then I'm going home. That's it for me. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great day and take care. Bye.